Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Friday, March the 12th. We're going to run through Friday's 7-game slate, break it all down team by team like we always do. Just before we do get started with the breakdown, guys, as always, I would appreciate it if you would hit that like button down below. And if you are new to the channel here, be sure to click that subscribe button as well. Click the notification bell so that way you do get notified every time I upload. You also get notified every time I do go live. Once again, this afternoon, I will be live streaming on my YouTube channel, probably around 5 o'clock Eastern time. We do have a later lock today. Locks at 8 Eastern, so I'll go live a little bit later, probably around 5. If you're able to tune into the stream, we'll be able to break everything down once again, answer all your guys' questions, touch on any news that comes out throughout the day. So if you're free Friday afternoon, you want to tune into the live stream, be sure to hop in chat, throw your questions in the chat. I can answer everything you guys have in the live stream Friday afternoon. But yeah, as always, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, check out my Patreon content. Link down below in the description as well. If you want to see more that I have to offer, you want to see more content I provide, I do have additional stuff on Patreon you can check out. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at Friday night's 7-game slate. Pretty interesting one. There's a lot of injury news today, a lot of question marks. There's a ton of guys questionable, so this will be something that we'll just have to keep an eye on throughout the day. We'll start off with the Philly and Washington game, and right out of the gate, this is probably one of the more, I would say, appealing games on the slate and more important games as well. Philly's going to be a team we have to keep an eye on. Right now, we don't know the status of Joel Embiid, but we do know that Ben Simmons is going to remain out for this game. He's being required to quarantine for their these two games. So Thursday night they played the Bulls, and then Friday night they're playing the Wizards. We've already got word that Simmons is going to be out for both those games. He was obviously out Thursday night. He's going to be out again. But Joel Embiid, he does have a chance to play. We don't exactly know yet what his status is, but I'm pretty sure as long as he tests negative that he will be able to play. So there's a chance Embiid could play today. This will be something to monitor. Obviously, if Embiid plays without Ben Simmons, he does get a boost, and Embiid would be one of the better pay-up options on the slate overall, especially in a really good matchup against the Wizards. So if Embiid's able to go, I like him a lot. I think he's a great play. If he's out again, we can look to guys like Dwight Howard and Tony Bradley. Tony Bradley actually started Thursday night when they played the Bulls, and he actually did pretty well in the starting lineup. He played 22 minutes, had 26 DraftKings points. He's still super, super cheap. So if Embiid's out again and Tony Bradley starts again, 3,400, I do like Tony Bradley as a value option. Dwight Howard was really good off the bench, but his price is way up there on DK. Like, he's 6K now. I don't know if I can pay 6K for Dwight Howard, even if Embiid's out. We're probably going to get like 24, 25 minutes from Dwight Howard. Sure, he could give you 35, 40 fantasy points in that time. He is a really productive player when he gets minutes, but I think the price has gotten to a point where I don't have much interest in Howard today, at least not on DK. Now, if you do play on Yahoo, Dwight Howard, he's super cheap over there. He's minimum salary. If Embiid's out again, Dwight Howard's going to be one of the best value plays on Yahoo for this slate, but that'll be just something we have to keep an eye on. Tobias Harris, you do have at 8,300. I don't know if I'm going to go to Harris if Embiid plays. I think if Embiid plays, that lowers my interest in Harris, and Harris is pretty expensive at 8,300. But if we do get word that Embiid is out again, I do like going right back to Tobias Harris. He wasn't great Thursday night. The game blew out. He lost minutes because of the blowout, but I'd be fine going right back to him. We know the usage would be there if Embiid and Simmons were to be out again. We obviously know Simmons will be out. The opportunity is going to be there. It's a great matchup. I have a lot of interest in Tobias Harris if Embiid sits. If Embiid plays, I think Embiid's the guy I really want to go to from Philly. But then guys like Shake Milton, Seth Curry, I think do benefit with Ben Simmons out. Seth Curry did start at point guard as expected. He only played 25 minutes, but a lot of that was due to the blowout. He was pretty productive, though, with 29 DK points. He should start at point guard once again. It's a really good matchup. I do have some interest in Seth Curry from the Sixers. Shake Milton's 5,800. Kind of pricey, but he did play 24 minutes off the bench, 25 DK points. I think I would probably rather play Curry, given he's a little bit cheaper, and also given that Curry will probably play a few more minutes than Milton. But both these guys do make sense with Ben Simmons out. They do both benefit. Both Milton and Curry are pretty cheap on Yahoo, so if you play over there, I think they do look like really good values on Yahoo. But that probably does it for the Sixers today. Really, the status of Embiid is a big injury that we're going to have to watch. Or I don't want to say injury, but big question mark because of COVID protocols. We'll go ahead and move on to the Wizards side, though. Another big injury to watch on the Wizards side. Bradley Beal is currently questionable. I really don't know, I don't have a lean here. Beal could play, he could not play. This will just be something to monitor. Luckily, this is one of the first games of the night, so we'll have this news before lock, I would assume. So if Beal plays, really the only two guys I'll be looking to on Washington are Westbrook and Beal, kind of as always. Westbrook I do like at 10,200. We just know what we're getting from Westbrook on a nightly basis. He's going to go out there and stuff the stat sheet, gives you triple-double upside almost every night, so I really like Westbrook. I think Beal is viable as well if he plays. I think given they're only a $500 difference, though, I'd probably rather just play Westbrook. But if we do get word that Bradley Beal is out, Westbrook becomes probably the best play on the slate, in my opinion. He's going to be a guy I definitely jam into my lineup on both sides if Beal is out. And then if Beal does sit, that gives us some potential value with a guy like Raul Neto. Neto has been playing really well lately. He's been getting about 24, 26 minutes. Obviously his production's not great playing alongside Westbrook and Beal. But if we do get word that Beal sits, I think we're going to get Raul Neto probably starting and playing around 30 to 32 minutes, which at 4,300 would make him an okay value play. He wouldn't be like a top value, I don't think, but definitely would be someone I'd have interest in. Denny Avdia has been playing really well lately. He's been playing about 24, 25 minutes a night. 3,800. There's other guys I think I'd rather go to on the slate. So really on Washington, if Bradley Beal is out, I love Russell Westbrook, and Raul Neto becomes a decent value play. If Bradley Beal plays, I still do have interest in Westbrook, and I think Beal's viable too. But that does it for the Wizards. Moving on to the next game, Cleveland and New Orleans. So in Cleveland, there really isn't a ton I like on the Cavs today. I think everyone's kind of appropriately priced. It is a really good matchup against the Pelicans, but I don't really want to pay $8,600 for Jared Allen or $8,100 for Colin Sexton. Kevin Love, he is currently listed as questionable. He does have a chance to return. He hasn't played in God knows how long. It's been almost 3 months since Kevin Love played. But if he comes back, that's just going to make things even, less appealing just because he's a high usage player. He's going to take minutes and usage away from other guys. We do have to watch the stats of Darius Garland. He is currently questionable. If he sits, that's obviously a boost for Colin Sexton. But again, Colin Sexton, very expensive, $8,100. Don't love him even if Garland's out. I think on Yahoo, Sexton looks a lot more appealing there, $32. That's a much more reasonable price tag for him. Could see going to him there, but yeah, I don't really like much on this Cavs team. Even in a really good matchup, there isn't much that stands out from Cleveland. So moving on to the next side, or the other side of this game with New Orleans. This is a back-to-back for the Pelicans. I don't think that's really going to matter. I assume everyone's going to be good to go here. On this Pelicans team, Zion, Brandon Ingram, two guys that I think are both basically in play every night. I don't think anyone on New Orleans stands out as a top play today. Like, this game overall is not that appealing. But Zion in tournaments, should be lower owned on this slate. I think, is someone you could look to. Same with Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is super cheap on Yahoo. At small forward, he's only $30. So, if you want to play him there, I think he does look appealing on Yahoo. But yeah, that really does it for this game. There's not a ton I like in this Cleveland-New Orleans game. So moving on to the next one with Denver and Memphis. Now on Denver, again, this is another team that I really don't have a ton of interest in many guys outside of like the top guys, Jokic, Murray. And really on this slate, I think Jokic is the guy I have interest in, but I don't know if Jokic is going to be the stud I try and jam in today. Like, if Embiid plays, I think I'd rather have Embiid over Jokic. If Bradley Beal gets ruled out, I'd rather have Westbrook over Jokic. I'm a big Jokic fan. He's one of my favorite players. On this slate, though, I think there's other guys I'd rather get to over him, but right now we do have some decent value, and there could be even more value that opens up, so it should be pretty easy to get to Jokic. I think at 10,900, he is definitely someone you can look to. Murray, Porter Jr., they kind of feel appropriately priced. Same with Will Barton. Like, I really don't like too much on Denver today outside of Jokic. Not a team I have that much interest in. On the Memphis side, kind of the same thing. There isn't much I like here either. Morant and Valanciunas, I think, are both solid tournament plays. I think they're both going to be lower owned on this slate. But we've seen Ja Morant been playing really well lately. 44, 51, 58 DK points his last 3 games, getting pretty big minutes, going to play 34, 35 minutes here if this game is close. Even at 8,100, I still do like Ja Morant at this price tag. Same with J-Val. Had a huge game last game against Washington, 67 Draftkings points in 32 minutes. Like, that's the kind of upside that J-Val has. I say it basically every time I talk about Valanciunas. Like, he is a very high upside player. When he gets the minutes, man, he can go out there and put up 50, 60 fantasy points. They're going to need his size against Jokic, so as long as he can stay out of foul trouble, I do think we get over 30 minutes once again from Jonas Valanciunas. He's a very productive player when he gets minutes. In tournaments, I think he's very appealing. Him and Ja Morant, I do have interest in his GPP plays, but I'm not going to be targeting anyone else on Memphis, I think outside of those two guys, not too much stands out from this team outside of Morant and Valanciunas. So we can go ahead and move on to the next game, Orlando and San Antonio. So Orlando, they are a team that's dealing with some injuries. I don't think this is going to impact too much on this slate, but Terrence Ross and Evan Fournier both did not play on Thursday. Possible they could play here. This will be something to monitor. It is a back-to-back. Aaron Gordon did play Thursday night, but this is a back-to-back, so maybe Aaron Gordon rests here given that he's coming back from injury. I don't really know. Like this Orlando team is not that appealing overall. There's just more appealing teams on this slate for me. Like even if Ross and Fournier are out again, sure, you could go to Vucevic, but again, like I think I'd rather play Embiid. I'd rather play Westbrook if Beal is out. There's other studs I'd rather get to over Vooch. Gordon was on a minutes limit. Even if he plays today, I don't really want to go to him if he's going to be limited. I mean, he only played 14 minutes. He's probably only going to play like 18, 20 minutes. I don't see any reason to go to Aaron Gordon. Ross is too expensive. Fournier feels appropriately priced. Like I just don't like much on Orlando today. Now, San Antonio, they are definitely one of the more appealing teams on this slate. Definitely a team we're going to have to talk about. So we already know that DeMar DeRozan has been ruled out for this game, while LaMarcus Aldridge is going to be out, for a remainder of time. I'm pretty sure him and the Spurs have parted ways, so he's basically not even on the team anymore. So Aldridge is basically off the team, and DeRozan is going to be out for this game for personal reasons. So there are definitely some plays I like on San Antonio with DeRozan out and with Aldridge no longer on the team. It starts with Dejounte Murray for me. I think he's one of the best options overall on the slate and definitely one of my favorite point guards. 7,500 on DK. Like him a lot there on Yahoo. I think it looks very appealing on Yahoo as well at $34. Just with no DeRozan, with no Aldridge, I expect there to be a ton of usage available for Dejounte Murray. This is a guy that can be very productive when he does get minutes, when he does get the opportunity. And he's been playing big minutes this year. He's been getting 34, 35 minutes in competitive games. He should be much more productive than normal without DeRozan. Obviously, DeRozan is a high-usage player, so getting him off the floor is going to give more usage to guys like Murray, to guys like Rudy Gay, some of these other Spurs that we'll talk about. But Murray, I think, is definitely my number one target from San Antonio. Jakob Poeltl, though, I do have some interest in. With Aldridge out, I expect the minutes to be there for Jakob Poeltl. He did play 32 minutes last game, probably going to play over 30 minutes once again. 6,100, he's appropriately priced, but I think he is viable as a mid-range center option. Now, Rudy Gay I like quite a bit without DeRozan. I think he's another big beneficiary. I don't know who they're going to start in place of DeRozan. There are a lot of ways they could do this. Most likely, it's going to be Lonnie Walker starting. They're probably going to go with Dejounte Murray, Derek White, Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. That's probably going to be their starting lineup, but maybe they start Rudy Gay. I don't think that would happen. But regardless, even if he comes off the bench, I think Rudy Gay without DeRozan, I like him a lot. 5,200 on DK does feel a little bit too cheap. Yahoo, definitely too cheap over there at $14. Rudy Gay, a productive player when he does get minutes. He's a fantasy point per minute player. First game back from COVID protocols, he really wasn't limited at all. He played 27 minutes off the bench, was very productive, did have 33 Draftkings points. No Aldridge, no DeRozan. I expect Gay to be very productive when he's on the floor. I expect the minutes to be there. 5,200, in my opinion, is just too cheap for Rudy Gay today. So he's a guy that I do like a lot from the Spurs as well. Derek White, I think, benefits without DeRozan. He should get more usage. Keldon Johnson, I think, should get more opportunity. I like both those guys. Patty Mills, not as interested in. If Lonnie Walker starts, I think he's viable at 4,400. But outside of those guys, I don't see too much else I like on San Antonio. I think my top plays from the Spurs are definitely Dejounte Murray, Rudy Gay. They're 1 and 2, and then I really like Derek White as well. I like Keldon Johnson. I think Lonnie Walker's in play if he starts. Those 5 guys plus Jakob Poeltl, so basically 6. There's a good amount that I like from San Antonio. There's about 5 or 6 guys that I think are viable on this team, and even maybe Luka Samanik, or however you say his name, he maybe could start in place of DeRozan. I doubt that happens, but he could maybe start and would be solid value at 3,400. There's a lot to like from the San Antonio team, though. With 2 high usage players out, DeRozan and Aldridge out, that's going to open up a lot. And we've kind of discussed who's going to benefit. So definitely had to talk about a lot there. We'll go ahead and move on to the next game, though. Miami and Chicago. So Miami, they are another pretty appealing team on the slate. We have already gotten word that Bam Adebayo is once again going to be out for this game. He was out Thursday night. He's going to be out again. With Bam Adebayo out, I think the 2 biggest beneficiaries are definitely Jimmy Butler and Kelly Olynyk, and I like both those guys once again. Jimmy Butler, 9,200 on DK. You could argue is maybe expensive, but the dude's just been playing so well lately. He's a guy that I'm definitely looking to pay up for, and I like him a lot on Yahoo as well at $43 at the small forward position. And then Kelly Olynyk without Bam also benefits, and we've seen that these last 2 games. Do like him, 5,700 on DK. Like him on Yahoo as well over there. $14 at power forward. Just way too cheap for Kelly Olynyk right now. We're seeing him start at center. He started at center once again Thursday night. Basically, the last 2 games have been, exactly what you want to see. He's been getting big minutes without Bam. He's been very productive, 45 and 38 DraftKings points, 37 and 35 minutes. It's a great matchup today against the Bulls. Olynyk should start at center again and probably play 35 to 36 minutes. For 5,700, he is still too cheap. He should be close to 7K with Bam Adebayo out. When Bam's off the floor and Olynyk is starting at center, he is a 7K player. So I really like Kelly Olynyk once again. I think he's still too cheap. And then Jimmy Butler, we don't really need to say much about Jimmy Butler at this point. The dude's just going to go out there and stuff the stat sheet. He's been so damn consistent. You look at the game log, he's given you at least 50 fantasy points in 7 of their last 10 games, at least 50 plus in 4 straight games. He's got 60 plus in 2 of those 4. Jimmy's just been so good, man. He's playing a ton of minutes. It's a great matchup against the Bulls. It's a revenge game for him. He obviously was he was on the Bulls for a while. I don't think that really matters too much, but yeah, great matchup. Fast-paced Bulls team, a Bulls team that's not good defensively. We could definitely get another big 60-plus point game from Jimmy Butler. He's someone that has triple-double upside basically every night, and without Bam, the usage, the workload is going to be even heavier for Jimmy Butler. So really like Jimmy, really like Kelly Olynyk. I think both those guys greatly benefit without Bam, and they're 2 guys I'm definitely looking to on Miami today. The guards like Dragic, Hero, and Nunn, they're all viable as well. I don't think any of them are top plays for me, but definitely guys I'd have in my player pool if I was playing a lot of lineups. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Kendrick Nunn, but they're all options that I don't mind. But really, that does it for Miami. We can go ahead and move on to the Bulls side. So with the Bulls today, there really isn't much I like on this Chicago team. Everyone just feels priced appropriately. There's so many other teams that stand out with guys that are top plays in my opinion. There's obviously the Sixers, the Spurs, these Miami guys. I don't see myself really going to any Bulls today. If I was going to play anyone, it'd be Zach LaVine. But Zach LaVine on this slate is just a low-owned tournament option. Obviously doesn't stand out as a top projected play, points per dollar wise. So we can go ahead and move on to the next game, Houston and San Antonio. So this is a really big one, especially on the Houston side. So Houston is dealing with some crazy injuries right now. So we do know that Christian Wood is going to remain out for this game. He's going to be out for, I believe, a few more games. I believe he's going to be out for at least a week or 2. John Wall, he popped up on the injury report late Thursday night, and then he was ultimately ruled out. So John Wall did not play Thursday. This is a back-to-back for the Rockets. My best guess is that John Wall did not play Thursday so that he could play today. So my best guess is John Wall plays today, but that will be something to monitor. Victor Oladipo has yet to play on a back-to-back this season, and I'm pretty sure they've already come out and said that the plan is for him to rest for this game. So Victor Oladipo possibly could be out for rest because of the back-to-back. Eric Gordon, he got injured Thursday night. He was healthy. He was available to play Thursday, but then he got injured again and was not able to return. So Eric Gordon, given that he did not return Thursday night, very likely that he's going to be out today. Daniel House, he's currently questionable, so this will be something to monitor. He did not play Thursday. Maybe could play here, but I believe Daniel House is going to remain, or David Nwaba, is going to remain out. He's having surgery. PJ Tucker, this is another big one. So PJ Tucker, he was basically a healthy scratch Thursday night. He was not in the starting lineup, and then we got word later on that he was basically not going to play. Supposedly there's been talks with him he's wanting to be traded. He's frustrated with the team that he's not playing for a contender. He wants to play for a different team basically. So he's basically sitting out. He's going to be out for today. So there's a good chance that we could have PJ Tucker, David Nwaba, Daniel House, Eric Gordon, John Wall, and Victor Oladipo. There's a chance that all 6 of those guys are out. My best guess is that Wall probably plays, Daniel House probably plays, but Oladipo is probably going to be out on the back-to-back. Eric Gordon, because he got injured Thursday, will probably be out today. Nwaba is going to be out, and PJ Tucker is going to be out. So there's a ton to talk about on this Houston team. So if Victor Oladipo is out and John Wall plays, I do really like John Wall because obviously without Victor Oladipo, the offense is going to run through John Wall. 8,100, even in a tough matchup against the Jazz, that would still be probably too cheap for John Wall. So he would be a very strong option at point guard. Jayshawn Tate, I think he's going to play basically as many minutes as he can handle. This Houston team is so shorthanded right now. We're probably going to get 35, 36 minutes from Jayshawn Tate at 5,800. I'm fine with him on this slate. Justin Patton, he did start on Thursday night. He got into some really bad foul trouble. He didn't play much at all because of the foul trouble. This is definitely a scary matchup because going up against Gobert, Like, foul trouble is obviously a huge concern here. Like, Patton could pick up 3 fouls in 3 minutes, and I would not be surprised. But he's going to have to play basically as many minutes as he can. He's going to have to basically play until he fouls out because they really have no other big body to guard Rudy Gobert. They have this Anthony Lamb, this guy they signed, but I don't know really how much they want to play him. So I guess Patton is viable. Sterling Brown, especially if Oladipo rests, I have some interest in at 4,500. But I think the clear play from Houston, the guy that's really going to stand out today, is Kevin Porter. So Kevin Porter came off the bench Thursday night, made his Rockets debut, and he played really, really well. As I'm recording this video, that game is going on. That game's about to end, I believe. It's 12:38 Eastern Time, midnight, when I'm recording this video. I believe there's like a few minutes left in that Houston game. Okay, so the Houston game has already ended. Kevin Porter played 29 minutes off the bench, had a double-double, 13 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block. So he went out there and absolutely stuffed the stat sheet Thursday night. I don't see any reason why they're not going to play Kevin Porter, close to 30 minutes a night. Like, Kevin Porter is clearly going to be a part of the Rockets' future. He's a young guy. He's a great point-per-minute player. If he's going to be getting anywhere close to 30 minutes at 3,200, he is, in my opinion, the best value on the board, and it's not even close today. Even if Oladipo and Wall both play, I still really like Kevin Porter. I just think he's going to be productive when he's out there, and this Houston team is just so shorthanded right now. The minutes should be there for Kevin Porter. He is definitely one of their guys off the bench that can be really productive when he does get minutes. So I love Kevin Porter. It's hard not to like him on this slate. He's super cheap on Draftkings. He's minimum salary on Yahoo. Clearly the best value play on the board. Not even close. He's going to be a guy that I definitely lock into my lineups tonight. He's going to be one of the first players I build around. So love him from Houston, but obviously a lot of these other guys we talked about are viable as well. We're going to have to wait and see, though, with when it comes to Daniel House, Eric Gordon, John Wall, Oladipo. We're going to have to watch the injuries here. There's a lot of question marks right now, a lot of statuses up in the air on this Houston team. But moving on to the Utah side, hitting on Utah really quick. At their price points today, not much stands out from Utah. I think Rudy Gobert in this matchup against Houston, he should be really productive here. Houston, they don't have any bigs right now. Justin Patton's going to basically play until he fouls out. Anthony Lamb is their backup center, basically. I mean, they're just so undersized, so shorthanded. Gobert should absolutely feast in this matchup. But still, there are other centers I think I'd rather play over him. Definitely, though, Gobert is probably my favorite play from Utah. Don't like too much else on this Jazz team outside of Gobert. But I think we can go ahead and move on to the next games, talk about this late-night hammer. So we got the Pacers and the Lakers, late-night hammer, 10:30 Eastern. This is a pretty easy game for me. I don't really have much at all that I like in this game. I think if I was going to play anyone here, it would definitely be Malcolm Brogdon on Yahoo. He is super cheap on Yahoo. He's only $27, so I think if you want to play him on Yahoo, he's totally fine. Dennis Schroeder, we'll talk about him in a second. He could be viable, but yeah, on the Pacers side, nobody stands out. Sabonis, Brogdon, they're just low on tournament plays on this slate. There's so many other better plays I'd rather go to. It's a tough matchup, just not an appealing game. On the Lakers side, really the same thing. LeBron, obviously without Anthony Davis, with AD still out, LeBron should go out there and dominate the usage every night. But again, I'd rather have Embiid if he plays. I'd rather have Westbrook if Beal is out. I'd rather have Jokic. There's just other studs I'd rather play over LeBron today. Dennis Schroeder, I think without Anthony Davis, is still viable. I wish he was a little bit cheaper, but he did have a really good game last game against Sacramento. Obviously, LeBron was out that game. But still, we know the upside's there for Dennis Schroeder, especially when AD is off the floor. He's just going to get more usage. He should be more productive. So he is definitely someone you can look to. Montrezl Harrell, though, with Marc Gasol still out, maybe we could go to Montrezl Harrell. He was really productive last game, 45 DK points in 33 minutes. The game before that, though, he only played 18 minutes. So there's a wide range of outcomes for minutes for Montrezl Harrell. If he gets over 30 minutes, he's going to be a really good play. I don't have any confidence that happens, but if you want to take a shot on Harrell, he should be really low owned. I don't mind him. He should start again with Marc Gasol out, or at least possibly start. I'm pretty sure they actually did start Damian Jones last game, but it's clearly going to be Harrell getting the majority of the center minutes. So he's definitely someone you could look to, but yeah, I don't like too much on this Lakers team. Harrell, Schroeder, they're just guys that I think you target in tournaments for really low ownership and not much else. I don't think there's really any top plays from this game overall. So that does it for all 7 games tonight, guys. We broke everything down team by team. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I do appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy, hit that like button down below before you do get out of here. Hit that subscribe button as well. Be sure to click the notification bell so that way you do get notified every time I upload. You also get notified every time I do go live. I will be live streaming once again for tonight's slate, probably around 5 o'clock Eastern time. So if you're able to tune into the stream, we can break everything down once again, answer all your guys' questions, talk through everything. But yeah, guys, good luck on this slate. I appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Good luck.